This is Emma and welcome to a quick little vinyasa practice focused on becoming strong and mobile for handstands. You will need a yoga mat and some clear wall space. Starting out down on all fours, and we're just padding our hands from side to side. So shift the weight from the right hand to the left hand and back again. And then start to spin your fingers around in a circle. So like you're tracing your fingers around the face of a clock. Take them as far as they go in one direction, and then back round, taking them as far as they go in the opposite direction. And then doing the same thing, but with the backs of the hands to the floor now. So you might need to shift your weight back a little bit. And now we have the backs of our hands to the floor, shifting from the right to the left. And once again, spinning the fingers around the face of an imaginary clock, taking them as far as they go one way, and then all the way back round as far as they go the other way. Flipping the hands the opposite way to normal and coming into a few rounds of cat-cow. So fingertips pointing back towards you, rounding out the spine, tucking in the chin, and arching the back, lifting the tail, pressing the heart forward between the arms. Taking a couple more rounds like this, so cat-cow with an added forearm stretch. And finally, coming into some first knuckle push-ups. So flip your hands back around the normal way, lifting the palms off, but keeping the fingers down on the floor. So the further forward you have your shoulders, the more challenging this will be. And the further back you have your shoulders, the easier this will be. So see if you can have your shoulders maybe directly over your wrists. We'll take 3 more of these. So 3, 2, and 1. Coming into cat pose now, tucking the hips under, rounding out the spine, and then moving the shoulders in front of the wrists. We're going to hold here. So have the idea of bringing the pubic bone up behind the belly button, rounding out the upper part of the spine. Shoulders are just in front of the wrists. You're pressing into the floor with the pads of your fingers. Let's make it harder. Lift your knees off the floor. So cat plank, rounding out the spine, tucking the hips under. See if you can move your shoulders a little bit further forward of the wrist. So see, I'm right up onto my tippy toes here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to child's pose, knees out wide, hands out in front. Make this a side child, so walk your hands just off the left side of the mat, right hand on top. Press the right side ribs to the top of your mat. And then change sides, so hands off the right side, left hand on top. Press the left side ribs towards the top of the mat. Bring it back to the center, come back to all fours, and take a couple of shrugs here. So arms are straight, drop the chest down, lift the heart away from the floor. Chest down, heart away. If you would like to make this a little bit harder, then lift the knees off the floor. So we're taking our shrugs in plank. Keep tucking the hips under, so don't sag into your low back. Still that idea of bringing the pubic bone up behind the belly button. From the top of your shrug, lift the hips up and back. We're coming into downward facing dog. We'll take a couple of little Shakti waves here. So rounding out the spine, that idea of cat plank coming forward. Hover the knees close to the floor. Press the chest back to the thighs and lift the hips up. This time, round out the spine, come forward. Hover the knees and stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chest back to the thighs, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Take the hands a little bit wider than the shoulders. Move the feet in maybe half a step. Come right up onto the tippy toes and take a few very small downward dog push-ups. Or if you would like to take very big ones, you can. Bring the crown of your head all the way down to the floor. 4 more like this. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walk your hands back to your feet. So you're in Uttanasana or forward fold at the back of the mat. Take a little paddle out through the legs here. So starting to open up through the hamstrings. From here, we'll walk our hands out to a tension bridge, which means we walk out to plank and then walk a little further. So bring the hands in front of the shoulders, round out the spine, tuck the hips under, and then reverse it. Walk the hands back to the feet. Coming back to your forward fold, take a little pedal out through the legs. We'll do this one more time. Walk it all the way out to your tension bridge. Hands go a little bit further than the shoulders. Tuck the hips under, hold. And then walk it back to Uttanasana, your forward fold. Take a little pedal out through the legs. And then come down onto the knees. Knees are together now. Have the heels of the hands in line with the tops of the knees. Round out that spine, that idea of cat pose. Shoulders in front of the wrists. Press the fingertips into the floor. See if you can hover the knees. The weight is not in the feet here. Should all be in the upper body. Release back down. Make sure you're grabbing the floor with your hands like little tiger paws. Bring the base of your fingers now in line with the tips of your knees. Do the same thing. Round out the spine. Shift the weight forward. Grab the floor with the hands. Hover the knees. Look at the knees. So knees are bent here. Don't push all the way up. Knees are bent. Weight is in the arms and hands. Release back down. Give your wrists a little roll out. We have one more. A little bit harder. If you would like to repeat one of these, you can. If you want to add on, you bring the tips of your fingers in line with the tips of your knees. Round out the spine, shoulders forward, hover the knees, look at the knees for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release down. Roll out the wrists. We'll give the arms a tiny break. Sweep the feet around in front. Coming into Navasana or boat pose. And then lowering down into a dish. So feet are going to be just off the floor, shoulders just off the floor. Look down, you should be able to see your toes. Sweep your arms up overhead, turn your armpits to face each other and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sweep your hands back round, hold here. Press your belly button down. Try to connect your low back to the floor. One more. Bring the arms up overhead, armpits turn to face. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sweep the hands back round and then take a little rest down on the floor. Bring the knees into the chest. Take a little rock up and down through the spine. Rock yourself up to sit. Coming back over onto all fours. Lifting the hips, coming into downward facing dog. See if you can lower both elbows at the same time down to the floor, coming into dolphin. Press the chest back towards the thighs. From here, move your nose over your thumbs and then press your chest back to your thighs. 2 more like this. Nose hovers over the thumbs and then chest back to the thighs. Last one. Nose over the thumbs, chest back to thighs. A little bit of a challenge. See if you can lift up both elbows at the same time. We're back in downward facing dog. Once again, walking your hands back to your feet. We're in Uttanasana. Take a little pedal out through the legs. And this time, come all the way up to stand. Heading over to your wall. Hands are going to go down flat just in front of the wall, remembering everything we've done. Grabbing the floor, rounding out the spine like cat pose. Bring your right foot up onto the wall, so ball of the foot on the wall. Round out the spine, grab the floor, bring your left foot up just a little bit onto the wall, and then back down. So the left foot is coming about halfway between the right foot and the floor. The focus here is on the position of the upper body. So that idea of cat plank, rounding out the spine, grabbing the floor with the hands for 3, 2, last one. Come down, give the wrists a little roll, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So here is where we want to have our upper body. You're looking at the space just in between your thumbs. This time your left foot will be up on the wall. Bring the right foot halfway between the left foot and the floor, and then back down. Lifting up halfway and back down. For 5, 4, hips are tucked under, spine is rounded. 3, 2, and 1. Release. If you would like to, you can repeat this one, or we can make it a little bit harder. So this time we'll jump both feet onto the wall. Right foot will be a little bit higher than the left foot. Same foot position that we just did a moment ago. So we're jumping right foot high, left foot a little bit lower, and then back down to the floor. Try and cushion your landing like a spring. So use your legs like shock absorbers. 5 more of these. 5, and down. 4, cushioning on the floor and on the wall. 3, silent landings. 2, last one. Perfect. Remember, you always have the option to go back to the one-legged variation. Change sides. Left leg will be high this time, right leg halfway. Trying to land softly on the wall and softly on the floor by using the legs like shock absorbers. 6 more. 6 and down. 5 and down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees to the floor, fingers together, give your wrists a little bit of a roll. Take a couple of little roller coasters with the wrists here. And same thing in the opposite direction. Bring the hands out in front, fingertips down, palms down, pull back, getting a stretch through the forearms. And now hands the other way, backs of the hands to the floor, pull back, getting a stretch up through the back of the wrists. We're going to take that same idea of using the legs like shock absorbers, coming into a few little bunny hops. Remember everything we've done so far. This is the feeling that we want. We're in a little squat, hands to the floor. Again, using the legs like shock absorbers. So I reach my feet to the floor in order to cushion my landing. We're going to do 8 of these. Grab the floor with the hands, round out the spine, looking at the space in between your thumbs, and using your legs to cushion your landing. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Final little add-on, if you want to make these harder, start and finish here. So tops of the feet are on the floor rather than toes tucked under. Only do this option if you found the bunny hops really easy. So here, we really need to cushion so we're not damaging the tops of our feet. So again, it's that idea of using the legs like a spring. So 8 more here, or 8 of our regular bunny hops. 6. Making sure the hips are tucked under, the spine is rounded. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1 more. Beautiful. This time, let's go. Palms of the hands to the floor, fingers out to the sides, bend the elbows out over the middle fingers. Backs of the hands to the floor, fingers point in towards each other, elbow pits turn in and arms are straight. Coming back to kneeling, reaching the right arm up behind, using the left hand to help the right fingertips travel a little further down the right shoulder blade. Keep your bottom ribs knitting in towards each other. Release, right arm wraps round in front, pull it in. Try to keep the arm parallel with the floor and the shoulder out of your ear, so keep the shoulder dropping down. Same thing on the left. Left arm comes up and over. Use the right hand to get the fingertips to travel down the shoulder blade a little further. And then wrap the left arm around in front, trying to keep the arm parallel with the floor and the shoulder down away from the ear. Finally, finishing with my favorite exercise for finger flexibility. It's like the splits for the fingers. So like your fingers are little legs, index fingers forward, middle fingers back, and just like the splits, you're trying to get your finger pelvis down to the floor. Middle fingers forward. Now it's like you've got 2 back legs of your splits. You've got the index finger and the ring finger. Take the ring fingers forward, middle fingers back. Pinky fingers forward, ring fingers back. And finally, thumbs back and index fingers forward. So trying to stretch out this part of your hand here. Reach the arms out and up, interlace the fingers, press the palms up. And then give your wrists a little roll on the way down. I hope you found this quick little handstand conditioning class helpful. Enjoy the rest of your day.